Tell me about the worst date you've ever been on.
I went on probably the worst but most insane date I've ever been on in my life. I went home to go see my parents last weekend, and I've been texting this guy who lives in Kansas City for the last couple weeks, FaceTiming, talking on the phone. Like, parents apparently knew about me, and we were supposed to go to the Chiefs game on Monday. He had gotten tickets to the Chiefs game. We got a hotel. We were gonna tailgate, go to dinner, whatever. And so I'm assuming it's gonna be more than a hookup, right?
Bruh.
You can tell she's had a few of those, and it also sounds like she's the one who's doing the chasing.
But like, I'm really open and honest about like what I'm looking for. So the morning of the Chiefs game Monday, he texts me at like 9 a.m. and he like sends me something sexual. And I was like, first of all, it's 9 a.m. Get a hobby.
She probably gave him exactly what he wanted, but I guess we'll never know. That guy doesn't want to commit. He just wants to blow her back out.
But second of all, I like reiterated to him, like, look, like I am looking for more than just like a hookup.
You serious?
And if we vibe, we vibe. But like, I don't want the expectation to be, I'm coming over, we're hooking up, and we're like going to the game. Like, that's not, like, I want to get to know you. He starts gaslighting me, like, why would I go to this extent to like hook up with somebody? And I'm like, oh, you're right. Like, this is a lot of work.
Then you guys are not on the same page. Maybe she wants something serious, but that guy wants to be in and out.
Unless you haven't been late in 8 years. Okay, so I'm like, you're right. So I go over there, I get to the hotel, we talk for a little bit. I'm like, oh, he's cute, he's fine, whatever. We start making out, and then it escalates. It only escalates for like 5 seconds, if you know what I mean.
Stop the cap.
But pretty soon after it escalated, he tells me that his mom was taken to the hospital that morning. They found something on her heart and she was in surgery. He then tells me that his dad is going to text him and let him know if he needs to come to the hospital. And so I'm sitting there like, why are you here if your mom's in the hospital? But also, why did you let me walk in that door, let things escalate, and then tell me that you're gonna have to go because your mom's in the hospital? I was like, that feels gross. This feels grimy.
Translation, he blew my back out, then he wanted to bounce like a bad check.
And I'm like questioning him. None of it's really making sense, but I'm not gonna question the dude. His mom's in the hospital. I mean, I did question him. But before he leaves, I make him sit down and transfer me the Chiefs tickets, because I was like, you know, like, he was a little reluctant, so I'm not sure if like his plan was to leave and go take somebody else.
Maybe that was always the plan. She kind of knew it, but she lied to herself like they always do.
But I was like, you're gonna send me these tickets. I drove all the way over here. Like, you just had sex with me and didn't have like the respect to tell me that you're about to just leave after. Also, like, your mom's in the fucking hospital, so you're kind of just not a great person at this point. So transfers me the tickets and he leaves. He texts me about how sorry he is. So I'm like, I text back and I'm like, look, do you want me to bring you and your dad dinner at the hospital? We can just hang out in the waiting room. Like, part of me did come over to, like, to get to know you. Like,
Nope.
She's delusional. The guy's not trying to get to know her.
like I was so down to like pick up some food and just sit there and hang out with them. And he's like, no, like, don't do that. And I'm like, okay. So I send cookies to the hospital before I leave for the game, crumble cookies, the 6-pack. He sends me a picture of the box of cookies. Oh, thank you so much. My dad said thank you. He's so excited to meet you, blah, blah, blah.
To be honest, I don't believe his mom is in the hospital.
And so I go to the game by myself. The guys next to me are like, where'd you get these tickets at? And I was like, I was actually supposed to be here on a date, but the guy's mom's in the hospital. And then they were like, what's his name? And then said his name. And I was like, yeah. And they were like, oh, we grew up with him. And I was like, oh yeah, his mom's in the hospital. And they were like, oh, is she?
Those guys knew that guy was full of crap.
And I was like, yeah, she is. And then they were like, look, if there's one person that I know in my life that would lie about their mom being in the hospital, it's this human being. And if I'm gonna tell you anything, it is to run the other way when it comes to this dude. This is what pushed me over. It was 8:30 and he texted me and goes, I was gonna offer to come back to the hotel after the game, but here you are questioning me again after I'd asked him like how his mom was doing. And I was like, oh, he's literally just trying to come back and bang again.
He wanted to come back for round 2. And even if she says no, he still got something out of those tickets.
But wait, there's more.
And so then I had my friend call the hospital. Nobody with the mom's last name was in the hospital. And so long story short, this dude made up that his mom was in the hospital so he could leave between like the hours of like 3 and I guess maybe 10 doing I don't know what. Then had the audacity to text me and gaslight me into trying to come back to the hotel that night after he was just gone all day because his mom was in the hospital when she literally was not. I don't know what's got to be going through your fucking head to use your mom being in the hospital as an excuse to like get off real quick, leave, and then come back and get off again.
If it's that easy, I can't blame the guy for trying to get some more.
I don't know. I don't know who's that desperate. Well, I guess I do. But thank God I trusted my gut instinct and had him send me those tickets. And then obviously when I found all of this out, I was reimbursed for the cookies, the gas, the Ubers, all of it.
The way I see it, she's the one who was desperate, not the guy. Yes, the guy was full of crap, but she was desperate enough to fall for his crap.
Not only did the Chiefs take a win, I guess you could say I did too. But then I had him come back to the hotel, and he sat in his car and cried and apologized for 10 minutes at about 12:30 after the game.
The lie detector determined that was a lie.
And so that did make me feel good for the moment.
Bruh.
And this is why I will not be dating again.
Your worst date?
Honestly, I just get stood up. That's
Why?
it. I don't know. I just get stood up. They're pussies.